Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you very much for joining me today. Now, as you would have probably guessed from the title, today's video is slightly different. It's not a haul as such, but you could refer to it as a haul because there are two items which have cost me a small fortune. But it's really just a review and to talk around the items that I've bought, how I found them, the sizing, etc, because I'm not going to lie, when it came to actually buying these items, I have been thinking about these items for probably, I was going to say many months, but actually probably years, because of the expense, because of the brand, because of the luxury, because yeah, buying these items was very much a considered purchase. And I just wanted to share with you guys my overall experience, my thoughts on the items, in case there is anybody out there like me who has been in limbo and is on the fence as to deciding whether or not these items are for you. But before I ramble on, chatting away as I normally do, I'm going to get straight into it and talk to you through my purchase, why I purchased them and my overall experience. Now, as you would have probably already guessed from the title, I have been to HERMES. Hopefully I can say it correctly because I say the most simplest of English words incorrectly. So no doubt I've probably said this incorrectly. But this is, I mean, the brand, other than the delivery site, HERMES in the UK, this brand is just synonymous with absolute luxury. Everything is handcrafted, the most beautiful leathers, and ultimately, if you're into designer fashion, then you will know what this brand stands for. And I think I never thought I would own anything from Hermes. I have to say, ever since a young child, I've always loved Chanel, and those have kind of been my goal points. But one of the things that I love to do is that I set myself goals personally and career-wise and in my work, etc. And what I like to do is when I achieve certain goals, I like to purchase something that I will remember why I purchased it, so that every time I wear them, I can feel that same excitement for when I purchased them. And most importantly, I can relive achieving that goal, because I often think, especially if you are a progressive, ambitious individual, often we set goals, we achieve them, and rather than just living in the moment of just enjoying the goals, we are already on to the next thing. We're already planning what the next goal is. And I hold my hand up, I am a person that does that. So what I've been doing more so recently is making sure that I actually sit in the present and really actually let myself enjoy that achievement before setting the next goal. And also I just mark it with an occasion. So yeah, as you would have guessed from the size of the actual box itself, I have bought myself the HERMES ORAN sandals. Now these are sandals that I've had my eye on for many years, and for those that followed me over the last 6 months, they will know that my feet has not been a great point on my body. There are many parts of my body that I have hang-ups on, but my feet is definitely one of those. And after my surgery and after everything growing back perfectly well, I can now wear open-toe shoes without feeling conscious or anything at all. And so I decided to treat myself with a pair of sandals that I've always wanted, but have never obviously been able to wear. Now I've gone for very much the classic style. It's the HERMES ORAN, we've got the simple H, it's the tanned leather. And I've gone for the very classic style purely because when I buy something to mark an occasion, I want the piece to be timeless. I want to be able to wear it for many years to come, and I want to be able to also be able to see myself wearing it for many years to come, because I kind of feel like if you're going to buy something that is to mark a goal and it's just a trend piece, then ultimately that symbolisation of that goal is only going to be present during that trend or whenever you want to buy it. So I always like to buy timeless classics. Now, if you are a follower of my channel and have watched my videos over the many months now, you will know that my general price point for buying any items is between the £10 to £50 range. So you're probably sitting here thinking, why has she bought such an expensive item? And as I have kind of lightly touched on before, I do like designer items. Yes, they're incredibly expensive, and yes, often out of my price range unless I've saved for them. But what I do like and what my general style is a smart casual style, mixing high street items. That's from your tops to your skirts, your trousers, your jeans, your dresses, and then dressing it up with just small classical pieces. So whether that be a handbag, definitely a pair of shoes because I'm a lover of shoes, whether that be, you know, pieces of jewelry or a hat. I tend to splurge more so on those designer pieces purely because I know that the pieces that I buy are not trend led. I hope that they will be in my wardrobe for many years to come, and that I will see good return on the cost per wear, which means I want to be wearing these items many times, which makes me feel a little less guilty for spending the money. Now, for those who are already aware, the price point of these sandals are £510. Now, I bought a pair of sandals last year before my surgery had been done from Chanel, and I believe they were £900. So actually, as a price comparison, I was actually very shocked to find out that this was actually the price that it was. I believe that last year these were even cheaper, and these have recently gone up, a very small increase. But to say that these are nearly half the price of a Chanel sandal, and these, I would say, have been made better. My general experience when it comes to handbags is that the Chanel quality has gone downhill, sadly. The last Chanel bag that I bought, I actually received it, you know, it was during COVID. I bought it remotely. I spoke to my sales assistant and I purchased it directly from them. It got delivered to my house. The actual flap itself was crooked and I had to get it sent back. So for me, there are quality issues going on with Chanel, and being that their price increases have been so steep lately, I haven't seen that the price increases have gone up with the quality. So yeah, I'm rambling away. For £510, I was about to say it's a bargain. It is not a bargain. Like, let's get one thing straight. It is not a bargain. But when you compare it to other designer items, I was actually very pleasantly surprised that this is 50% less than Chanel. Now, the biggest I'm in an R in, so when I decided that I was happy to buy these Hermes sandals, they come in obviously this beautiful box. What I also love is actually the care bag, the dust bag for the shoes. How stunning is this? I mean, for me, the logo is just, I can't even voice why I love it, but it's not just that, it's the detail that goes into the boxes itself, the wrapping, the actual dust bags, the qualities are amazing, and I use these, and I'm a big fan of using dust bags. We live in a very dusty flat at the moment, so I use them on practically everything. But the one thing that actually really blew me away was the sales assistant experience. Now, if you're into designer items, you will be aware that actually going to some boutiques across the board, not just Hermes, sometimes the way that you are dealt with as a customer can make you feel like this small. I will never forget my first experience in Chanel. It was horrific. I felt like that I shouldn't be there. The way they spoke to me wasn't very nice. And I have to say, it took me about another 4 years before I went back into a Chanel store. That's not good. I really detest people making other people feel differently for any reason. Like, we are all human. We should never ever make people feel like that. But when I went into the Hermes stores, I have heard the horror stories. So I was a little bit, I don't know, cautious about the experience. I made sure I booked an appointment. So I booked an appointment for the Hermes Bond Street store. I turned up on the day. There was a huge queue to get in. But because I'd made an appointment, I was able to walk straight through. I was offered, you know, a drink, I had a glass of water, and actually my SA experience was amazing. I generally still talk to my SA. I still message her. I've got my eye on other items that obviously I won't purchase until I can actually afford it, have saved for it, and also have another goal to market. But the actual experience was amazing. And I do have a sales assistant in Chanel who over the years I've got to know, who I now go to for any of my Chanel stuff. But I must say, the crafting that actual relationship with the sales assistant from Hermes was actually incredibly easy and was so different to what I'd heard online. Now, I'm not saying that this is the experience across the board, and actually many of you have reached out since I've been into the Hermes stores. I put it on my Instagram and have it expressed that you haven't had the best experience. So I can't comment on that, but what I would say is definitely make the effort to make an appointment. First of all, definitely go there with a considered idea of what it is that you would like to look at or maybe purchase, and just so that I suppose that they know that you are a serious buyer, shopper, a browser. You don't have to buy something, but I think the key is that you are there to look for something in particular, and that's the kind of approach that I went for. But with these sandals, I had thought about these for a couple of years, and one of the things I have found really hard is how to size these shoes. Now, I've looked online and there are people that have said that these are true to size. There are people that have said that these are not true to size and to go one size up. And for me, when I'm spending a lot of money on an item, I do not want to get it wrong. One of my vices of being me is that I am a little bit of a perfectionist. So the idea of spending so much money and getting that wrong is like my idea of hell. And yeah, some of you might be like saying, you know, you just need to relax and just enjoy life a bit more. And trust me, I am working on this perfection issue. But I have tried these shoes on before in Hermes Harrods before going to the sales assistant at the Bond Street store. And I'm in an arm between a size 40 and a 39. Now, luckily, I was able to also try a 39.5 when I'm there. To give you a size reference, flat shoes, I'm normally a size 40, and in high-heeled shoes, I'm normally a 39 or a 39.5. I'd say I'm more a 39.5. So I actually opted to have these in a 39.5. So effectively, that would make these true to size. However, what I will say is this: I tried the size 40 and my foot was slipping in and out of the shoe, especially my left foot, and they were already loose. And these being leather, I thought these are going to stretch with time. However, often when you're wearing these types of shoes, your foot is pretty hot. And when I say pretty hot, when I'm in another country, my foot is extremely hot. It can swell. So just to be aware of that and thinking about when you will be wearing these shoes to kind of understand what your sizing was. Now, even though my foot would generally be hotter, I still didn't want to go for the size 40 purely because I felt like my foot was already slipping, and therefore after good wear, these sandals are going to stretch and therefore they'd be even bigger. And there's nothing worse than having a flip-flop that is too big and you're basically struggling to keep them on your feet whilst you walked. The 39 was definitely a perfect fit. It was very snug, like literally snug. And I say perfect fit, it wasn't really, it was too tight. Whereas the 39.5 was still a little tight round here. I didn't find that there was much of a difference in the actual length itself from the 39 to the 40. It was pretty much the same length, but it was all to do with the width of the foot. Now, my foot, I would say, is not a wide foot. I'd say it's just an average, normal type of foot, but I have to say, if you have a wide foot, you are definitely not going to go for true to size. I think you will have to go up, and that is without a doubt. But if you have an average kind of size foot, I went true to size. These were tight to buy. Like I felt them being snug, and I was aware that my foot was going to swell, but I also was aware that these were going to stretch. Now, I wanted to do this review as soon as I bought these for you, but I actually think that to do a good review, you physically have to have worn the item. And so yes, I have worn this item quite a few times now. I'd probably say about 5 or 6 times, but notably this week I went to work, I wore them all day. So I wore them around the office, I wore them on the commute, and they have really, really stretched already. And I would say they are literally like a smidgen of way from being perfect for my foot. So what I'm saying is this: don't buy the shoe when it's already baggy, because in time the shoe won't fit for you. I'm also saying don't buy it that is extremely tight. It should just be just about perfect with that room to kind of, you know, to stretch. And I think that's my biggest takeaway. I'm in an hour on whether to do a video at all about this, but then I just remembered my own experience and how much I'd really struggled. Apologies, I think we've got an ambulance or police car going past. But I just really, really struggled to find any point of reference on the internet as to what size to wear. So here I am, probably chatting away far too much, but I wanted to provide that nugget of information. But I have to say, I am in love with these shoes. I mean, I am in love with the actual packaging. No one can mistake the Hermes orange packaging. I just love it. I love the bows that came with it. Obviously, because I've already opened this, I've kind of ruined the presentation of the actual box itself. But the shoes are wonderful. You know, as I've said, I've worn them already. The UK has been wet. I have worn these. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot to give you a warning. I said to you that I've been wearing these whilst I was at work, and I did, and I've recently started a new job. But I am going to tell you now, when you've recently started a new job, you do not want to embarrass yourself. And there were a few people in the office yesterday, which is why I went into the office, but to meet other people. But I am not joking. The actual soles of these, and as you can see, are completely flat leather. There is no grip whatsoever. So what that meant is when I was in my rather nice brand new office, I came out into the lobby and there's this shiny beautiful marble, which, you know, I walked in, I'd never actually seen my office before I started my job. I interviewed remotely, but when I walked in I thought, this is a place for me. This is a lovely, lovely office. However, I came just walking out, going to the toilet as you do without even thinking, and I slid, like completely slid round the corner in the lobby, like nearly stacked it. Like it was embarrassing, and someone was showing me where the toilets were. It was absolutely awful. It was so embarrassing. And the thing is, the floor was completely dry. My shoe was completely dry. All I can think is, what if there was water on the floor? That honestly would have been a situation. I would have just started and I've been filing a complaint with HR. So what I will say is tread with care. Maybe these are just designed for the beach, who knows? But tread with care. I don't know if I'd be wearing these to the beach, because I just can't see myself putting a £500 pair of shoes on the sand to get them all roughened and, you know, probably damaged. But yeah, tread with care. Do I love them? Absolutely. Am I happy I bought them? Absolutely. These are going to be in my wardrobe for years to come. I think the only downside I would say is that now that I've got them, I'm also thinking about the other tan accessories, including potentially a Birkin. Yes, I can't afford it. Not right now. I'm still saving. But I am thinking about all the various other tan accessories that I can actually add to my collection. And that will probably lead me on quite nicely to the next item. Now, this next item is an item that I've been waiting to unbox with you ever since I bought it. Now, this in actual fact was my first ever purchased item from Hermes. And the reason I bought this item was because I left my last job. So I bought it on the very last day of my last job that I'd been at for 4 years, I think it was. And now I'm moving into a slightly different role, same industry, but a slightly different career. And I wanted to mark it for the occasion. Now, surprisingly, this item is actually less than the sandals, and they were my second purchase from the same sales assistant, but they were my second purchase. Now, this item, although it's a little small, it's priced at £760, and obviously the Oran sandals are priced at £510. This may be a small purchase, but how I see this in my wardrobe is that it will wear with so many things. And I think I'll get through to the actual unboxing of it and then you'll understand what I mean. So I love the packaging, as always. Anything that you buy from Hermes is packaged in this beautiful, beautiful orange box. They always have this stunning bow to the side of the actual box on the left hand side, and it's just really nicely done. And I have to say that the reason I hadn't actually unboxed this was because I just didn't want to unbox it too soon before I was going to wear it. I haven't got round to wearing it, and I thought, you know what, why not unbox this with you guys? So I'm opening up the parcel now. It's all very beautifully lined, and what you will see is, oh, first of all we've got the dust bag. Once again, this beautiful dust bag. Honestly, I don't know how I can actually love a dust bag so much, but it's just, the aesthetic of it is just beautiful, and it really complements our house at the moment because we've got a really neutral kind of calm cream white decor. But what you'll see is it is indeed a belt. Now, it might look like a very, very small belt and that's because it is. It is called the Kelly 18 belt. Its actual width of the actual belt itself is 18 millimeters. And once again, I've gone for that gold color. Now, I know the leather itself looks like it's tan, and to me it looks like it's tan, but Hermes called this color leather gold, and it's gone with the yellow gold, and I just thought this would just be absolutely amazing. Now, as you can see here, there is a bit of a trend that I've bought a couple of brown items, and I think the real reason for that is that when I was looking at my wardrobe, I noticed, and naturally I think whenever you start a designer wardrobe or buying small bits of designer items, you tend to go for the colour, or I tend to go for the colour that I'm going to get the most wear out of, and black is a very much a safe bet, whether that be belts, shoes, handbags, coats, the whole thing. Black is a colour that I wear often, but I have found that over the years I've actually started to gravitate towards kind of beige and brown colours, and I really like beige, especially in winter, because as the years have gone on, I really, really love colour and how it makes me feel. So I tend to not wear black too much because I feel too drab, and I feel that if I wear colour or any type of colour that's not black, that it brings me out of myself. So yeah, long story short, I thought, why not start building like the tan side, the brown side of your designer wardrobe. So when I bought this item, how I saw myself wearing this in summer was actually with I've got a lot of summer dresses which are very billowy and could do with sometimes having a belt to really tighten it in. And I'll show you in the cutaway here just how that looks. But I've kind of gone a little bit off piece. But this Kelly 18 gold belt was really a showstopper for me, purely because it is extendable. Now, I've bought belts, I've bought the Gucci belt and so many other belts, but I always find the real pain about buying belts is the fact that I tend to like wearing belts mainly on my waist, so really high up to kind of just sit underneath my bust, and sometimes I like to wear it in my trouser loops. And I think the annoying thing is that if you want a Gucci belt, as an example, because I did buy into the Gucci trend, is that you have to buy a belt in a certain size. So for example, I think I was an 85 in the Gucci belt, but if I wanted to wear that not on my waist, I would need a bigger size. So effectively, I'd have to buy two different belts. And what I love about this is that you can see here that it's got this kind of loop on itself, and what that does, it means that this belt is completely extendable. It means that it can sit around your waist itself, and you can extend it. So for example, what you do is you just pull down here, then you put it one side, and then all of a sudden, as you can see, this belt is longer. So this is why I bought it. So this price is £760, and that for me is incredibly steep for a belt. But where I think this is an item which will hold its value in years to come is purely for the fact that the brand itself, it will be around for years, it'll be highly respected. The brand is only ever going to get more expensive. So that's the first qualification. The second thing is that it doesn't matter what size I am, whether I put on weight, whether I get smaller, whether I want to wear the belt high on my waist, in between my waist and my hips, or on my waist, that I can physically do this with this belt by extending it to whatever length that I like. So what that means for me is that I can see myself wearing this belt from age 35 today all the way to when I'm 65, and I hope that I'll be wearing it when I'm even older than that. And the other thing that I love about this belt is this really, really cute stitching, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it in the camera. It's just this really, really light white stitching throughout. I just absolutely love the Kelly buckle here, where you can actually have this down and you have to really click it in, and then you kind of twist it to hold it up. I just think this is absolutely stunning. And yeah, I loved it when I first saw it. It was meant to be the smaller purchase. I did actually go in initially to buy some sandals and they were out of stock, so I had to wait for a few weeks until those tan sandals came in. But I thought, you know, I really want to mark this occasion of leaving my job, and which is why I decided to buy this belt. And I'm so glad I did. And I think probably as time goes on, as I hopefully, fingers crossed, achieve more goals and I save more money, that I'll probably add a black belt to the wish list. I'm going to put it on my manifestation list. I'll probably add a black one, and then I feel like I've got a good couple of versatile belts that I could wear at any size, at any time of my life, and I think they're a classic piece. The only thing I will say, I haven't actually been to Hermes now twice, is that I've had such a good experience, and I think sometimes when you have a good experience, it makes you want to spend more. I absolutely love this belt, and I love the sandals, and I love the fact even more that now that I've worn the sandals in, they actually are starting to feel like a second skin. I'm not going to lie that when I first read through the reviews, there was quite a lot of people saying that the sandals themselves feel like an extension of your feet. They're so soft, they really mould into your feet. And I must say, after the first couple of wears, I was thinking, oh, when are these sandals actually going to mould into my feet? I just couldn't see it. And having worn them now 5 times and wore them all day yesterday at work, I can actually feel them really mould into my feet, and I'm really, really happy with that. And I think now that I've got these gold stroke tan accessories, I'm not going to lie, I am really, really tempted to potentially put an Hermes Birkin on the wish list, in the hope that in the next 8 months, if I go on the wish list, that I might get the chance to purchase one. I don't know, it's a very, very expensive purchase, and I feel like with any expensive purchase, they have to be a really, really considered for. I have to think about it for a long time. But I do have a Chanel bag that I actually waited for about 1.5 years. It is the bag that I said that I had to send back, because when it got delivered to me, the quality was so bad, the flap was completely crooked. And I've had the bag, and it's a very, very light neutral colour, and I must say I don't wear it that often because I'm too scared to get the leather itself stained, or like I'll have dirty hands, it will go over the handles. So I'm tempted to sell that, and that's what I often do when I buy new designer items. I tend to sell it on Bestier or a second-hand designer specialist seller, and then I use that money and put that into a new purchase. So that way it means I'm never losing money, I'm always getting a return on my investment, I'm always selling the items on for more than I actually bought them on, which is amazing. So in that sense, I know these are a really expensive purchase, but I think as time goes on and you get to know me a little bit more, I can especially vouch for my friends that do know me. I am not one to spend money frivolously, and I think buying these designer items, they are incredibly expensive. I think there is a certain edge to it that when you first start buying designer items, they are so expensive and they never stop being expensive. But I think the more that you buy, the expense itself still matters, but I think because you see that you're wearing these items again and again, and then when you sell them for higher than you purchase, you tend to start looking at them more as investments rather than pieces that you'll actually lose your money on. And you'll see from my channel that I buy lots of clothes. I am a bit of a shopping addict, but I buy lots of clothes and they are very much trend led, which is why I often stick to a much smaller price point. And I just sometimes think, like, you know, you buy all these clothes and you wear them for, you know, maybe 1 or 2 seasons if you're lucky, but these designer items are in your wardrobe for life, and if they're not in your wardrobe for life, you're selling them on so that you can then purchase something else, and you're not losing money. So I do feel like you're investing in that part of the wardrobe. But I do understand I've probably chatted and chatted away. I just sometimes feel like that when we do these hauls, I am purely literally just talking about, you know, the items themselves. It's very much, here's this dress and this is how I feel. And sometimes I feel like it might be just nice for you guys to get to know me and understand what my thought process is behind my purchases. But anyways, it has been truly lovely speaking to you. Hopefully I would have put some cutaways with myself wearing a lovely white dress and this beautiful Kelly belt. I have to say I've really enjoyed talking to you guys, and I hope that you have found this review helpful, especially for those who are looking to buy HERMES ORAN sandals, because I could not find enough information for love nor money, and the sizing issue was a real sticking point for me. It was something that had me not buying them for many months because I just couldn't find out what was the correct size. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you have enjoyed today's video, it would be amazing if you could give me a thumbs up just below if you like these type of videos. It gives me an idea of whether or not I should put up similar videos like this up in the future, and it would be absolutely amazing if you could hit subscribe if you like the general content of my videos and you would like to see more from me in the future. But anyways, I hope you have a lovely day, a lovely weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you guys next week. Take care, guys. Bye.